Just grabbing a coffee. BRB. I've returned with coffee. Oh! Oh. I sit down now because I'm approaching 40 years old. Let us... What do we need to click on to make this work? Well, that's all working. That's all good. It's less and less the volume of the music. Push this button. Oh no, my head. Weird shape. That's not gonna happen. I can't angle the camera to fix that. Hello! Welcome! There's some more BoredGamery stuff. I'm BoredGamer. If you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, just put question in brackets and then ask a question. We'll be talking about 3.18 and 3.18.1 and 0.2, 3.19 and Fleet Week, all that sort of stuff coming up, and yeah, anything else that you guys want to talk to. Or talk about, in fact. It is Easter weekend. Zin is off at the moment at iSeries, which I sort of kind of wish I'd gone to, but I've literally come back from a mixture of holiday and then a board game sort of long weekend, and there's stuff I needed to catch up on, and I would have had to got a load of videos sort of pre-prepared, and I'll go to the next iSeries. It's sort of like a big LAN party at an expo in the UK. Something that I am doing regularly at the moment is I'm 3D printing. This is part of it without its sort of guns on and all its accessories. Bits for my 40k Grimguard or Death Corps of Krieg army. So I'm going to start painting relatively soon. I'm going to try and get a project sort of done paint-wise. Like, I've got a giant, like over a foot long Orc Space Hulk for Battle Split Gothic that I've got to at some point paint, which I'm looking at now and going, oh, there's so much effort to paint. So yeah, like my 40k, fantastic. This 10th edition. It's actually making me want to collect stuff, because I'll collect a load of stuff that I like the look of, and because I basically want to do a Imperial Guard army, or what have they called, Astro Militarum now. They're going to be called the Red Hats or the Firefighters, and they're going to be they're going to have basically red hats and fire engine looking vehicles. Is the idea. Like the paint scheme for that sort of cream and red. Let me see. Got a dude. Okay. Here's the paint scheme. Not going to focus on him. Cream and red. I'll do some stuff on social media with them. That's probably a good idea at some point. I am planning to go up at some point, go up to CIG's Manchester Studios and play some games with people like John Crew of 40k. But I'm probably going to wait until 10th edition now. And 9th edition was a little bit too bloated, shall we say. Anyway, hope you are all doing well. Hope you're going to have a fine Easter weekend, whether you celebrate Easter in any way, shape, or form or not. Hopefully you just have a nice weekend. I'm hoping to both to play 3.17. Well, I'm going to be playing Star Citizen 3.18.2 on the PTU, because that is currently the only patch on the PTU, and it's what I would esteem as the only patch that's working. 3.18, it does work. I have a relatively good time in it. A lot of people have terrible problems either logging in, or 40k errors, 30k errors, loads of like huge amounts of delay and lag, and because there's servers and database issues and lots of stuff going on. So yeah, big old kerfuffle, disaster with 3.18, and hopefully 3.18.2 and 3.19 will be solid releases now. Is there any reason to play anything besides 3.18.2 after the announcement about the wipe from yesterday? So at what scale do you want to play Star Citizen, is my answer, and what do you want to accomplish in it? If you are only playing for progression, don't play Star Citizen until there is a full release in several years' time. Yeah? If you want to explore, have some fun, mess around, have some personally set goals, play during PT phases, play during whenever you sort of want. I mean, it's all down to your personal sort of wants and scale at what you're playing at. Don't play Star Citizen at all, because the heat death of the universe will wipe everything anyway. I mean, so what scale are you wanting to play is all I'm asking. I'm not trying to be, a douche about it. But yeah, the reasons to play are to test Star Citizen, to help make sure those fixes have landed, and to maybe play a more stable build. Yeah, play 3.18.2 on the PTU. That also helps. But yeah, at the end of the day, do whatever makes you happy. It's a game. You might not want to be sort of constantly bug fixing and playing terrible builds. You might be wanting to wait until those builds are more stable. I think that's fair. Yeah, some people are really enjoying the current PTU. Sad that I'm using all my LPVC grinding. Yeah, but there's more to do. Like, you're able to jump in and play Star Citizen some more, right? Good morning from New Jersey. Hope you're well, sir. Thank you very much, Stormfire. Good. I didn't know you were New Jersey, boy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. 60 months you've been subscribed for on that. Oh, God. I'm sorry for your loss. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so yeah, play for the reasons you want to play in Star Citizen is what I'm saying. And LPVC grinding, like you can jump back in the game and grind more. I mean, do you need a load of LPVC for any reason? I suppose test more ships. Will the Misk Fury be a ship or a suit thing? So it's supposed to be the Misk Fury. Although I suspect there's going to be some fairy costumes or furrian costumes, scalies, whatever you're into. It's totally fine. Like I'm not here to Star Citizen kink shame. You do you. You do you, guys. What have we got here? Oh, thank you very much for the kind words. Genuinely appreciated. Some interesting chat in the chat. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. What am I riddling? What's going on? What's happening here? I can see you, my vulture, for 135. So out the door with lifetime insurance. Do you think it's worth doing? I can see you up to a vulture. If you want a lifetime insurance vulture, yeah. I mean, lifetime insurance isn't going to be that useful in my opinion, because I think it's only going to cover the base of your sort of hull. I think that your ship's going to be worth a huge amount more based on the components you put in them. I do think that will require additional insurance to cover those components. Also, I think the insurance costs are going to be relatively minor. I really enjoyed the board game conference that I went to over the weekend. Played loads of games. I've never played Caverna before, which is obviously a little more old school, it's a farming game. That's good enough. Played the remake of Escape from Atlantis, which I can't. It's called Survive. He was trying to swim off an island. It's a very quick and silly game. Played loads of Blood on the Clock Tower, which is a social deduction game, which I'm particularly good at. I had people dancing around my little finger. It was good. That was a good laugh. Sort of, you're evil or good, and you've got to try and work out. It's basically Werewolf or Mafia, or if you played any of those games like that, but a huge amount more complicated. Plastic Death! Oh, thank you so much. That's a huge donation. You are a beautiful boy. Happy Easter to you both. I can't get my head around whether on release your ship persists when you log off or not. Yes. So, on release. So at the moment, your ship sort of persists where it is for a while, and then streams out. Yeah. So this is currently. As long as you're not near a landing zone. Yeah, and then when you spawn back in, bam, you're back in your ship. It spawns back in. On release, we don't know yet. It depends on how Shard and Shard Affinity works. It's likely that you'll stream out when no one else is there, though. I like the idea that it does an Eve and it starts zooming you around. Yeah, puts you to hyperspace. But I think you'll stream out after a little while. Since you're out of combat, boop, stream out. But we don't know. That's the problem, Plastic Death. We don't know yet. Clan Imperium have talked about it a few times, and there's been lots of talk about it, but no super hard decisions. Seems to get pretty fiddly with edge cases, like if you could evade long enough to combat log. Yeah. Well, so I think there's going to be a mixture of when you're logging out before you sort of stream out. It'll be a mixture of when was the last time you were damaged, and is there anyone near you? Yeah, before you actually can log out. Or log out safely. That would be my expectation anyway. I can poke CIG about it. There's likely going to be some interesting sort of questions answered over the next few weeks from Clan Imperium's appearance at Bar Citizens. There's one in the UK tomorrow, which I'm going to try and attend. 4-hour train journey, though. Gen Desperado, I hope you are doing well, sir. Thank you very much for the raid. That's genuinely appreciated. Oh, you star. I hope you had a good stream. How was it for you? You right? Having fun? You playing 3.18.2? You having a terrible time? You just chatting? I do think they will start working on the Polaris since it's next on the roadmap. I am expecting the Polaris to start getting a load more work this year, yeah. And Clan Imperium will probably talk about it a lot more during sort of CitizenCon. Do you think after the EVA revamp is live that we'll see an up-to-date atmospheric freefall? So, they need to do some better stuff for atmospheres. Obviously, they're getting control surfaces. They want us to have ways of being able to survive in atmosphere when we eject, or our ships are effectively destroyed or starting to crash or whatever. So there does need to be a lot more going on there. Don't know when that's going to actually start, though. I was in prison, no way out on the PTU. Fun. How are you? I'm good. Thank you very much. You know when you go on holiday, and the holiday was a bit hectic, and you've come back from like a weekend of like resting, and you need some rest because it was a bit too hectic. That is how I currently am. Looking forward to Easter Sunday cooking for my family. But that should hopefully be nice. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But, I'm looking forward to chilling out this weekend. I'll play a little bit of 3.18.2, but mostly I'm going to be 3D printing stuff, potentially playing some board games with some mates, and getting some extra nappings in. A weekend of a minimal amount of Star Citizen for me is sort of a bit of a holiday. I quite like playing Star Citizen, even sort of casually, just to go, because I have a thought, I go, I wonder if this works, or I've got an idea for something, or I can't remember how this works now, so now I'll just quickly play Star Citizen, or quickly do a mission or something. I'm mid-40s and I don't grimace while sitting. I think you gotta be a robot. Sorry to break it to you like this. You didn't pass the Turing test based on that response. Why do you think CIG feels they need to wipe both 3.18.1 and 3.18.2? So, some reasons, lots of reasons. Because they're working on both patches simultaneously, so some of the fixes that are in 3.18.2 necessitate a full wipe, but they're going to be releasing 3.18.1 first. Yeah, so they're going to be wiping for both, because that will cause some more stability. So there's obviously some fixes that they found that just require that. Are they going to drop together? So obviously 3.18.1 and 0.2 were on the PTU until recently. Now it's 3.18.2. I'm expecting 3.18.1 very soon, imminently. So that could be this weekend. It could be early next week. I have expected 3.18.1 for quite a while now, though. What do you think of CIG adding the ability to strip ship parts? Yeah, so 3.19, that makes a load of sense, right? They're starting to get everything ready for physicalized components more readily as part of the resource management system as well, sort of all interconnected, so no artificial health pools anymore, a load more customization, all these components actually communicating with each other. You can have the engineering gameplay, you can have all this ship circuitry all working together. So having 3.19 have the ability to take parts off ships, your weapons, your components, and then slot them into other ships. Fantastic. Obviously, you can sort of loot them or whatever. You do need to either have the ship in the soft destruction state or the pilot to go, yes, I allow my ship, my components to be disconnected and reconnected. But yeah, I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. And it will affect the way some people play. It's obviously salvage just with the gravity tool. It's deeper ship customization, technically, because you can change stuff on the fly, or when stuff's broken, you go boop, boop, change it out. So effectively, yeah, both those full wipes will be relatively close together for 3.18.1 and 3.18.2, yes. I will also occasionally wear a suit with this as well, so I am very much Milk Tray Man. It's such an old reference with the Milk Tray Man. You're a monster. It's probably actually not that old. 20 years? Maybe longer. Bored, do you know if I'm just missing a setting with Toby if I only get eye tracking? So you can turn off head tracking. So if you reset all the settings there, you should be able to just go head tracking, Toby, bam, and then should sort of just work for both. Make sure you're running the Toby experience is running. So you might just be missing something out. That's possible. Or you might have turned a setting on or off. Or there could be something interfering with it. It is pretty plug and play, the Toby eye tracker. Ship beams, does that mean I can steal someone's ship that's full of cargo when it's not in armistice zone? So when we have ship tracked beams, technically, yeah. As long as you can correct, yeah, technically. As long as their ship isn't resisting. While Starfield is a single-player space RPG, if it comes out and does well, do you see pressure coming towards Star Citizen and CIG to maybe up the pace? No. So all it's going to do is drive more people into wanting more space games and being like, oh, this is really cool. I only see it increasing market share to other games in the future. Plans on Parade, people getting pissed at the assuming Mandalorian episode. I don't watch Mandalorian. I probably will at some point. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm more of a Trekkie. But I do see it as a cool universe. I probably will watch some of that stuff later. I don't hate the films. Head tracking set, yes. I think isn't that's default on though, isn't it? When you just turn on the tracking, right? Richard H, thank you very much for the donation. That's genuinely appreciated. Thank you. Merry Easter. What's the big difference between 3.18.1 and 3.18.2? So there's even more fixes. and optimizations in 3.18.2, and they're likely they've been testing dynamic events for 3.18.2 again, so you're likely going to see Xenothreat and Jump Down turn up. Yeah, so they're doing a full wipe with 3.18.1 and with 3.18.2, so you're going to get 2 full wipes pretty close to each other. Board, check out the No Man's Sky Interceptor trailer. It's pretty cool. I probably need to play. Say, when No Man's Sky came out originally and was No Man Lie, and obviously had a load of the gameplay that was sort of promised and expected, saying was told to us was in there, wasn't there. I was sort of annoyed, but I was like, then they put their heads down and they worked on the game, and No Man's Sky is in a genuinely great state now. Like, they've really improved their game, and I give them props for that. They now, I'll probably jump into No Man's Sky and just to see if Zin wants to play at some point. Why play 3.18 if 3.18.2 fixes more known bugs in the former? So, they want to get a stable build of 3.18 live as soon as possible. That's why. Why does CIG give you chips for giveaways? So they give some of the small to medium content creators ships and occasional emails about some future promotions and things they've got going on. And there's no strings attached to that. I had originally for like a year just gone, no, don't want it, not interested. And then I was told by other content creators, look, there is no strings attached. And I was like, if there's no strings attached, I'll happily take ships because I can just give them away on my channel. Just know that that's the case. And there's my bias. If you see any bias there, great. You're fully aware of it. Which is why I put it in the bottom of my videos and why I fully explain that. But the reason I suddenly started accepting is because I was like, all I'm doing is not allowing my audience to get free ships. And I suppose I get free, gets me more publicity effectively, or more people willing to watch or subscribe. It seems silly not to, right? Dumb question, is Fleet Week and Invictus the same thing? So, yes, Fleet Week, Invictus Launch Week, the same thing. So that looks like it's starting on the 20th of May. It is a big ship expo, big ship sale, free fly event, loads of cool stuff happening in the game, and different sort of combat ship manufacturers on each day. You're able to try those ships for free. You're able to play the game for free. Loads of cool stuff to do with like javelin tossing, loads of military ships flying around, new straight to flyable ships, and some concept stuff might turn up as well, almost certainly. Robert Gilpin, hope Kraken comes out in 14.0. I assume 4.0 with Pyro. I got one. So I'm expecting the Kraken to be one of the next big ships to be launched. So yeah, sort of Polaris, Kraken, Banner Merchantman, sort of, yeah. It's personally what I'm thinking, large ship-wise. I just think it's a great idea to have it for mobile bases, pirate bases, cool for missions, right? 4.0 as well. I don't think the Kraken will turn up in 4.0 because I think what's happening for 4.0 now, Clan Imperium, I'm going to try and get 4.0 in at the beginning of next year or at the end of this year. And it's just going to have pyro and jump points along with some other stuff, but probably not server meshing, maybe server meshing light. And they are trying to push that as quickly as they can. Do you feel the reason why it's taken so long to release 3.18.1 and 3.18.2 is because they spent too much time trying to avoid a full wipe? I think that might have partially contributed to it. Yeah, maybe. It's hard to tell, isn't it? Clan Imperium aren't too open about that particular element. It's possible. I think that they didn't fully realise what had broken and why. Yeah. it is it's not always super clear. So 3.18 on the PTU before it went live was working relatively well. They put it on the live build, everything broke. Everything. The servers, the logins, the database stuff, sort of disconnected, broke, a mess. Do you think the SRV will be released in 3.19? I think it's a strong possibility it will be released as the part of the 3.19 branch. They have talked about 3.20 now as a thing. I thought it was April Fool's or they're sort of making a joke, but I think it is actually going to be a thing now. Also, will the Spirit be released during 3.19? Again, I think it's going to be released during the 3.19 cycle. So it's possible they'll go, ship scale tractor beams and even more cargo refactor stuff. That's going to be 3.20, which we're going to have the SRV with. But again, I think it's possible that SRV will be in 3.19. And again, I think it's possible that the Spirit, the whole series, will be in 3.19. A very noob question also. A full wipe basically sets the game back to like you've just started, or do you keep some things? You keep anything you bought with real money, basically. Any of your account stuff or promo items. But anything that you earned in game is effectively reset, be it reputation, be it items, be it Alpha UEC, be it ships. So feel free to ask what you deem as noob questions. It's, useful questions, right? For some people. When the component system is complete, you think cargo hold space will be filled with replacement parts. So I think that there'll be, yes, I think some sections of some cargo bays people set aside for spare parts. I also think there'll be workshops and subcomponents and things like that. A lot of stuff you'll be able to repair just with like hand tools. A lot of you'll be able to repair in a workshop. A lot of you'll be able to repair just by replacing subcomponents, right? When we need a second of everything for an engineered gameplay. No, you'll be able to cannibalize parts from other systems as well. So it's not just you always have to boop move stuff around. J-Bird, hope you're doing well, sir. Cheers to you and Zin. Have an amazing weekend. Looking forward to seeing gameplay from you too. Very much appreciated. So Zin is at iSeries with her partner at the moment. I'm going to probably play some games with them after this stream. I'm going to sort of see if they're around, and we'll play some like games we haven't played for a while, like Overwatch and Apex and things like that. The power of the internet. I can join them virtually on their holiday. I'm sort of FOMO. I kind of wanted to go, but it sort of didn't have enough time to go this time. Like Guy Foz, thank you very much. I genuinely appreciate it for subbing. And you, J-Pad. Appreciate it for your sub. I know I've captured your heart and your soul already. It's genuinely appreciated. Thank you very much, guys. When do you think the Santok UI will come out? Fleet or Alien Week? It's possible they'll be ready for Alien Week, right? So that obviously they're pushing the Santok UI at the moment. It's getting a huge amount of progress. You can see that in the monthly reports and the constant sort of sneak peeks. So it's going to be a while before they get the engines and the flight model for it done, though. Flight model. What 3D printer do you have? I have a Saturn II. Which I wish I'd just gone for the Saturn 8K. As well, at least at the moment. I'd be happier with the cheaper lighting array, which is actually slightly more effective at... it can effectively do print slightly quicker, although not as precise. It's because Fresnel lenses and stuff. It hasn't got the Fresnel lenses. Also, I'm probably never going to use the full height of the Saturn II, which is very tall. It's got an extra couple of inches on the standard Saturn 8K. But really like it. I think it's an absolutely fantastic printer. Do you enjoy puzzle games? Are you looking forward to Humanity? It's a Lemming-esque puzzle game. Heard of Humanity? Haven't seen it. I will have a look. I did love Lemmings when I was younger. Sort of got me into puzzle games, I think, probably Lemmings. That and Battle Chess got me into puzzles. Have you played Barrel Trauma? Once in its early access phase. I've heard it's great multi-crew. Okay. I'll So, is it something you can play couch co-op, or is it something you have to play on all on different sort of PCs and different screens? I'd be interested in Barrel Trauma. Roadmap indicate a vehicle finished grey box. I reckon this might be the X1 they let someone stream. So yeah, the Fury, the X1, things like that. I do think they're I do think the X1 is a strong contender for something we will see released this year. Something we might even hear more about at Fleet Week. Tommy Gun 1, thank you very much. That's very much appreciated. Turns up, follows, subscribes. That's by Foz. Tommy Gun 1, appreciated. Genuinely. Stars, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so expect maybe a concept triple vehicle, but a few straight to flyable ships and vehicles for Fleet Week and 3.19, right? Set up a second channel for No Man's Sky called BoredEgg. Dude, I beg you. You have a BoredGamer 2.0, which I'm not using at the moment. Do you think there will be any compensation given for those of us who sunk a bunch of time into 3.18? Yes, it's possible that they'll give some additional Alpha UBC to help start the 3.18.1/3.18.2 patches, right? It's possible. Do you think they will grow the amount of players per shard soon? No. I think they're going to get first stage server meshing out first and then grow from there. That would be my expectation. Yep, 3.18.1 will have a wipe, and 3.18.2 will also have a wipe soon after. Full wipes. That's what Clan Imperium said. Banner Merchantman at CitizenCon. I think so, yes. Why is Chris right behind you? He's just making sure that I'm adhering to NDAs. You think the Kraken is more likely over the Liberator? I do, yes. I think it's more important as a use case for mission content. Would it be a fair assertion to say the Galaxy is an RSI equivalent to the Carrack? The Galaxy is more modular multi-role, right? Can be sort of geared up to anything. So you could gear it up to be Carrack-like. Do you think they will push the Reclaimers over the Reclaimers' other functions forward, showing up carcasses? So they're working currently on salvage munching, which both the Vulture has at a smaller scale, but the Reclaimer has at a much larger scale. And they're working on tractor beams to help with that mechanic, so ship scale tractor beams and utility tractor beams. So that's something they're working on now. That's something I'm expecting we'll see later this year. Full wipes work in their favour. More people decide to buy a ship with the amount of wipes they do. Maybe. Probably do work in their favour slightly. Wouldn't encourage me personally to buy a new ship. I'd want to get stuff in game anyway. I have a bet that 3.18.1 is coming out this weekend. Do you think I'll win the bet? I think it would. The problem is that it's Good Friday. So it's possible some of their studios are already closed. So it might be that they release it early next week instead. I suspect that very few people are in the UK studio today. If Star Trek and Star Wars are so great, why don't they have people standing on chairs? My game is 3.18.0. When are the wipes? When can I play? You can play now. You can play on the 3.18.2 OpenPTU as well. The wipes, there's going to be one for 3.18.1, which is imminent. We don't know when. And then there's going to be another full wipe for 3.18.2. Again, and we don't know what it's going to be soon-ish. Next couple of weeks. That sort of scale. I'm quite looking forward to Starfield. I'll play it. Hopefully it's not trash. Polaris Grey Box done. Can't remember. don't think that's in my notes. It probably is somewhere. I'll do an update on a load of the ships at some point. What sort of system will CIG be implementing to stop the cluster of ships building up around bunkers and other locations when people leave the servers? Been at a few bunkers and a lot of ships. So in this sort of short to mid-term, the system will stream them out or get rid of them in some way when there's too many sort of entities of a particular type there. So you sort of bear that in mind. It's just likely they get streamed out at appropriate times. They also might encourage people so they can artificially restrict areas by making them more dangerous, having environmental things there, making them crime scenes, lots of different ways of artificially restricting people in the future. I'm hearing down the pipeline that when claiming ships, they will be delivered as stock. This will mean players will have to physically fly ships to locations or use ships like the Liberator. In the future, yes. In the future, you'll be moving ships around. You might be able to get them delivered to another location, but you'll have to pay for that or get someone else to do it for you. Next wipe, I think, will be related to a better working economy. That's quite possible. Or server meshing, right? But to be honest, Clan Imperium will wipe any time they think they need to wipe. Any thoughts on Squadron 42 material being held back for some reveal and any effect this has on Star Citizens and the Persistent Universe progress? So I don't think it's going to have much effect on progress in-game, because obviously that will still drip feed into the Persistent Universe as necessary. The only things they're going to hold back Squadron 42-wise are particular actors, the cool story stuff, the cinematic scenes, right? The Squadron 42 branch is used to refine a load of the gameplay when a feature's done before it goes into the Persistent Universe. What's up, you handsome devil? Thanks for your devotion, keeping us all up to date with Star Citizen. I mean, it's effectively my self-imposed job. It's quite literally my self-imposed job. Misk Fury's become an hour McFlurry. Wipe's an excuse to go out and have fun doing things you might not normally do. Be it pirate, raid, security post career, dogfight, try out different things. Yeah? Why not? I think that sort of stuff should be encouraged, right? Clan Imperium need to be more active at encouraging the community to get involved with dynamic events and little sub-events, little self-imposed things. Like, if they had ways that they could reward players with the player and stuff by getting achieves, like they did with the Halloween stuff with the Vandal Mask and all that sort of stuff. Give us those every month. Give us some of those every month. People get much more invested in playing. Because you're like, well, okay, now I get some cool stuff attributed to my account permanently. If you get kill 100s of these pirates, permanently get 5k Alpha UEC on your account every wipe. An additional, yeah? It's silly stuff like that. I think that would really help. Viking 1992, thank you very much. While I debate whether you're my #1 fan or not, there's some people that give a huge amount of money. That equates to fandom, right? At a tier 3, they got a tier 3 sub. And no, genuinely, thank you very much. That's very much appreciated. Thank you so much. I always sort of worry around this time of year. It's like, oh, are we going to be, are we making less money than the year before and all that sort of stuff? Or what if something happens? What if I get ill? What if the views go down? And YouTube always do some weird stuff. So at the moment, they're getting rid of certain ads in videos, which if they do, metrically, I'll be earning 15% less, unless there's a way that them getting rid of those ads means that there's more money in ads getting on the ends of videos. I don't know. I always worry about this sort of stuff, like, constantly. I suspect it will be okay, right? I mean, it'll be okay. Do you feel having Chris Roberts over your shoulder helps you keep focused on track? Damn right, yes. Are there ships that you won't be able to purchase because you specifically want to earn them in game? There's nothing specifically I want to earn in game. I just want to earn lots of stuff in game. The thing is that I want to play Star Citizen and enjoy playing it. Yeah, and I'm going to have multiples of each ship. Because I'm assuming I'm going to play it similarly to Eve. So I'll have lots of ships in lots of different locations for lots of different reasons on lots of different accounts. Well, maybe lots of different accounts, but several accounts. I love battle chess. I know, right? I am on a server all alone on the PTU. The AI are walking around and doing things. Help, how do I escape from this Twilight Zone? I know, right? So, on the PTUs, often you get a really nice slice of... That isn't actually working really well. Baseborn 2 on Steam. It's made by one person. Have you seen it? Played it? No. I will check it out, though. Check it out after stream. Thank you very much. Single player open RPG. It's sort of similar to X, is it? Okay, it looks pretty cool. Oh, that's really FPS in it. Oh, okay, looks cool. I will check it out. Summer Yeti and I like puppies. Do you prefer barbecue sauce with yours or salt rub? What are we talking about? What's going on here? I'm doing well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the kind words as well. Very appreciated. Make sure... So, something I'll say to people. Obviously, there's the Tobii Eye Tracker stuff going on at the moment. 15% off, great. There's a sweepstake for that as well. Always feel free to get involved with the channel giveaway. All you need to do is comment on any of my videos. You don't even need to be subscribed. Comment on that. I think at least one ship giveaway a month. I think it's for the Vultra this month. What would you tell a person waiting to buy a general use fighter today? What would you recommend for a moderate budget? I'm not sure what moderate budget means anymore. But I'd go for something like the Arrow or the Gladius, right? They're going to be pretty good multi-use fighters. I mean, if you're going the super cheap end, Avenger Titan. Then beyond that, it's based on what you want out of it. So you're not going to get a huge amount of range out of those. They're going to be fighters that you want to use within the same planetary system. So just around like Crusader or whatever, right? And the moons. Talk to me about bases and crafting. Thoughts? How do you see it rolling out? Will we be expected to keep them fueled? Good questions. So we know that base building has expanded from what Cloud Imperium had originally visioned, with the Pioneer just being able to construct outposts and plop them down, pick up and put down these modular outposts. So it's going to be a bit more expansive now. You're not going to need a Pioneer to do that. The Pioneer is going to be a large mobile factory that enables you to build more and build more efficiently and that sort of stuff. We don't know the full scale of base building, other than it will be relatively in-depth. We know that it's going to act similarly to ships, so we'll need power and all this sort of stuff at these facilities. And I think that there's going to be the ability to craft fuel at them and refine at them and do crafting at them for probably munitions and repair materials and fuel, all that sort of jazz, because that makes sense, right? You can then basically have these base locations owned by orgs, and the way that you push an org out of like Pyro or whatever is by finding their bases, destroying them or taking them over. They can't refuel and rearm so easily anymore, and sort of attrition them, bam, knock them out. Zed Mongoose, thank you very much for that donation. That's genuinely appreciated. Thank you for the great content. Thank you for the monies, the great monies. I'm genuinely appreciated. And Steve, thank you very much for the resub. That is also genuinely appreciated. 3 stars, thank you very much. It's been a very financially lucrative stream. I just gave Zina and her partner 50 quid because it was her birthday the other week. I bought a birthday present, got some stuff, but I was like, they're away at iSeries. I sort of feel a bit of FOMO for not going. And I was like, I'll give them 50 quid so they can have a nice meal while they're out there as well. So thank you very much for the money. That sort of helps replace that. Makes me feel better, right? I do appreciate all the love. Like, genuinely, thank you. Glad to see you're doing well. It's been a journey up to this point, and there's been a lot of greatness ahead. Do you have a favourite star system? Obviously, I love Stanton, because we have it at the moment. I'm looking forward to Terror the most, I think, because it's going to be this huge, built-up, futuristic system. It's Terror and Sol that I'm most looking forward to. How do you do Sol? Like futuristic, super built-out Earth. Yeah. Thank you so much for that donation as well there, Wiley Type. Wiley Type, ex-CIG employee. Got an interview with him. It was one of my most popular videos I did a while ago. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the support on the channel, like genuinely from everyone. It's important Zin feels loved, and important BG feels loved, and important the community feels loved. Yeah, it's important they feel valued, not necessarily loved. I want purpose over love. What do you think of the work done on the Spirit interior? Think it looks cool so far. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to replace my my cutlasses with spirits, right? Woo! BoredGamer, here in Montreal, Canada. Here in Montreal, Canada, it is a survival IRL game. We just had lots of freezing rain and 1 million houses don't have electricity. Oh God! Well, I hope that's terrible. I hope you guys are all right up there. We've got a generator and stuff, but to keep warm. Obviously, you have power to some degree. It's good to hear. Please talk about what you see. As we talked about that. Why do you think they haven't applied the updated alien designs in game yet? So yeah, I'm looking forward to Vandal Swarm being updated with the new Vandal ships, right? The new Scythe and Glyph. I don't know why they haven't updated that stuff yet. It's maybe because they were like, well, actually, it takes a bit of work, and we're going to be doing Arena Commander updates anyway. We do know that they're working on Arena Commander now, revitalizing it. I'm expecting, and I'd be annoyed if they didn't update Arena Commander with those ships at the same time. Do you have a theory about the Hades 4 that explains the parts not falling back together? No. Although I can't bring Hades 4 immediately to mind. One of the other things. I don't have... My head's not the best for recalling lore. I'm pretty good at recalling what CIG have said about game facts and development over the many years. I suspect Zin's probably pretty good at recalling lore now because she studies it so much. Oh, Viking, thank you very much for the sub. Genuinely appreciated, sir. And NPC Dion, thank you very much for the resub. Again, genuinely appreciated. That's what we got here. Now, what happens when you are... Oh, no. Oh. Teenage solutions will work around for a 40k. I just try and log in every few days. Should be solved in 3.18.1 and 3.18.2. Play on 3.18.2 on the PTU. That's my recommendation. I know it's not the best, but that will allow you to play. See you later, Bad Monkey, mate. Hope you have a great time at the Bar Citizen, mates. Did CIG ever state a solid tier level for the content? They have to be gold release level. No. That they haven't. I will be doing a video on what a genuine minimum viable product looks like at some point. I think that is a fair question. I think after 3.18.2, we won't have another patch until 3.19. Pardon me. Do you think the Spirit C1 will be able to hold a rock? I don't know for sure. We don't know until it's in our hands, realistically, because it's going to be to do with the aperture size for the ship, right? I think it's possible. Do you think they'll add landing lights on ships to light up the ground under you. Yes. I'm also expecting to see a low-res camera again, or sort of low-res radar showing you the ground when you're trying to land on it at some point. And we're certain they're going to bring that back as one of the MFD screens. See any solutions or workaround? I talked about that a minute ago. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to buy out. Question for chat. Do Crusader ships usually run with higher prices than their counterparts by the manufacturers? That's a good question, actually. I haven't even thought about that. I don't know. I can't recall how much ships cost in my head, sort of how they stack up against each other. Sort of when you play, you have quite a lot of Alpha UBC pretty quickly in Star Citizen. When are they fixing the basic reclaimer bugs? A lot of them are solved in 3.18.1 and 3.18.2, like with the elevators and stuff. Well, who's your favourite Star Trek captain and why? Got to be Picard. By quite some margin. I'm still not sure why so many people are angry about full wipes. I don't think there's actually that many people that are. I think there's a small to medium amount of people that are vocal about the annoyance with it. I think they are fine to voice their annoyance with it. There's no problem with that. Yeah. Annoyed about the wipes, cool. Be annoyed about the wipes. Especially when Cloud Imperium said there was going to be one thing and there's another. I think it's sort of Cloud Imperium are as honest as they can be at the time. Obviously, some stuff does not work out the way that they envisioned or wanted. BoredGamer said Chris is behind him watching to make sure he doesn't break NDA. That is probably what I said, yes. I do like Jean-Luc. I think he's a beautiful boy. I had a girlfriend once that was really into him. Like, really into him. Can you get PTU when gifted a game package? I believe so, yes. As long as you have access, as long as you have a game package, you should be able to play with the PTU. I don't know why, but I really enjoy trying to organise the salvage boxes in the Vulture. A lot of people like that sort of organisation, cargo, in its right place gameplay, right? Don't they? And does 3.18.1 or 3.18.2 address the issue of trash building up due to PES? Yes. So there is a more aggressive way in 3.18.2 of clearing out entities that pile up. So it gets rid of them more quickly and at a lower threshold. They'll find better ways of sorting this stuff out in the future. But at the moment, get me a more playable game and keep everything in mind. Is there any news on the Tumble Ranger? No additional news on the Tumble Ranger. I know that they're working on, and you can see this in the monthly report, more physics-based stuff for wheels and things. So they've been working on that, and that's a indication for me that they'll have the Tumble Ranger in the not too distant future. When is the free fly? Hopefully after 3.18.2. That's a good question. Is it going to be 3.18.1 or 3.18.2? Probably 3.18.2. The free fly. We also know there's going to be a free fly for Fleet Week, 20th of May onwards, most likely. And that's when 3.19 is supposed to come out. Will skins be able to be universally applied to ships? For example, solar winds on the Arrow. So, no. Not at the moment. In the future, potentially. And when they've got a better system for it. But at the moment, its skins are only applicable on certain ships. So each skin is made for each hull. And some variants, if they are different hulls effectively, they need a different skin. But in the future, expect a much more malleable, customizable, and probably, bam, ships are marked up for solar wind skin. One skin fits all. That's my expectation. Where do you spray paint your models? Do you have a nice setup or just the garden? I spray paint my stuff just in the garden. Anything else? Whose job is it to hide Easter eggs around your house on Easter morning? Do you make sense and do this? Or do you... Well, Zin lives quite far away from me, and I don't pay her enough to be able to hide Easter eggs around my house. It'd be my mother. My mother would have to do it. The one and only Cider, thank you very much for the raid. Genuinely appreciate it. I am in the process of wrapping up, unfortunately. So I will be passing this over to someone else in the not too distant future. For a few minutes, but we'll have a bit of a chat and then I'll chuck people over. But I appreciate the raid. I'm about to assemble my new PC and can finally play for real. So jumping in right now feels pretty good. Not gonna lie. I don't know when to upgrade my PC again. I mean, I'm not gonna do it for a while because I'm still pretty happy. Next generation of GPUs/CPUs, maybe? Next, like, big step? Is it a tick or a tock? And it's like... when do you think we will get ship combat rework? They're working on it at the moment. I think we'll see some of it this year. So, some new master modes, and that sort of stuff. I've been working on that for a while. The combat mode versus navigation mode. I think it's a good idea. When do you think they'll have cargo delivery contracts outside of box missions using cargo decks at orbital stations? I think later this year again. I think probably when they introduce ship-wide, ship-scale tractor beams, I think they'll probably want to have a load more cargo missions and that sort of stuff. Do you expect we will get a gym module with a boxing ring for player boxing events? We sort of have a boxing ring at Clash of Prison already. Obviously, they've been building props for gyms at the moment. I would expect there to be boxing rings at gyms and probably a way of fighting other people in them. And we've got punchy. How do Lawless players buy new ships? Is thingamajigs? What's it called? The ship sells at Grimhex. His cousin no. Is there the ship sale place at Grimhex now? But that's where you'll be able to buy them. There will be outlaw shops to purchase stuff from, like Ruin Station. You're gonna be able to buy ships from, right? I'm thinking of when Levski was there, right? I'm thinking of you'd buy ships at Levski. Richard H, thank you very much for becoming a BoredGamer member. Very much appreciated, sir. Yeah, so Pyro, Ruin Station, that's where you'll be able to buy ships in the future for Outlaws. Yeah, it was teachers at Levski I was thinking of. my brain saw it and was like, "This is Grimhex." No, it's What's top on your wish list for upcoming features to release this year? Oh, I don't know. I like things working together. Potentially data gameplay. It looks like Clan Imperium actually been working a lot on data as cargo stuff. Bounty Hunting 2.0 is pretty big. Salvage munching. There's even just ship scale tractor beams. Like there's a huge amount of stuff, to be honest. I appreciate all the love. Thank you very much. Right. I'm going to dash off. I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to find someone else for you to. I'll have a quick chat, but I'm going to find someone else that is streaming. Who is actually online? Yeah, I'm pretty excited for 3.18.1.2. Just everyone being able to play the game, getting a dynamic event in, because 3.18 it's got a load of new features, which are absolutely fantastic with persistent entity streaming and soft death system and all that sort of jazz, and salvage, and it does make the game a lot more fun in those dynamic events. Hugely more fun in Xeno Threat. Hugely more fun in like Jump Town and that sort of stuff. Who is actually online? I am going to. I'm going to send you over to the Dark Lord. He's a beautiful boy. I would send you over to Salty Mike, but he's got a huge amount of people watching him. He doesn't need my help. And the Dark Lord probably doesn't need my help, to be honest, but you know. Bam. But yeah. Genuinely, thank you very much for watching. Hope people have a great weekend. Hopefully I'll have 3.18.1 soon. I mean, it's possible we'll get it for this weekend, but I do think the studios are somewhat starting to skeleton studios for Easter weekend, effectively. But 3.18.2 relatively soon after, so I'm expecting both patches to be delivered within the next sort of 2-3 weeks. Wipe for both, full wipe for both, is what Cloud Imperium have said. And then we're hot on the heels of Fleet Week, 20th of May, 3.19. Obviously, these patches are building towards them as well, because 3.19 is not a real branch. It is built on 3.18. It's 3.19 a name only. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all the support. Genuinely appreciated. Check out my videos on my channel. We're trying to do one every day. That's the idea. We're trying to average 1.2 videos a day, 1.5 videos a day. Can't remember what we said now. But got videos. Watch them. Thanks for the support. Love you guys.